Well, this is part two of our trip to England last year. As a recap, we shipped our Jeeps from California to Southampton, England, and we spent about 2 weeks driving around the English countryside, visiting historical sites and museums. It's been about a year since Clarissa B's been shipped back, and I'm finally getting together to put some videos together. So this is part two. I'll show you a link to part one down below, and I hope you enjoy it. So I'll show you what we've been up to.
In part one of our adventure, we loaded up the Jeeps and shipped them to England. We toured Southampton, picked up the Jeeps at the shipper, drove them down the coast to Brixham Slipway, toured a pottery airfield, toured Joe's Motor Pool, the Tank Museum, the Air Naval Aviation Museum. We moved Airbnbs, toured the Submarine Museum, historic Portsmouth docks, and attended the Overlord show. We started day 7 off in Portsmouth and visited the D-Day Story Museum. After a quick look around Portsmouth, we headed back to the Portsmouth Historic Docks. There was so much to see there that we decided to go back and see some of the things that we missed on our first visit.
It reminds me of Santa Cruz. Yes. I just seem to remember just being sprayed all the time. Yeah, that's fine.
After several hours of visiting the historic docks, we headed to a pre-arranged tour of HMS Medusa. Medusa is a harbor defense motor launch. After participating in amphibious landing exercises in England leading up to D-Day, Medusa played a major role in D-Day by marking German minefields to be cleared by minesweepers, then acting as a marker to guide the invasion fleet through the minefields on D-Day. Day 8 was another moving day. We packed up our gear in Hampshire and were heading southeast to our next Airbnb in Tenterden to visit the High Halden and Ashford areas. On the way, we stopped at Southwick House. Southwick House is where the massive D-Day operation was all planned out. The map room at Southwick House is still intact, and at the time it was so top secret that once somebody entered the room, whether they be a worker who set up the map or a telephone worker, they couldn't leave the military installation until after D-Day invasion was complete.
We're off on to, we got 2 other museums today, and then
Okay.
all the way over to
We can come back and do a few more photos for 5-10 minutes if you want. We go down to his caravan.
Next stop was the Tangmere Aviation Museum. We had become a bit of celebrities as word got out in the military historical community that our group was traveling around England in World War II Jeeps. The curators came out to take photos of our Jeeps.
Wow, that's a really cool church.
After another fantastic but long day, we finally reached our destination in Tenderden, our new home for the next few days. Day 9, we were visiting a little bit different time period of history and visited Dover Castle on a very foggy day. There was so much history at Dover Castle, there was even structures built by the Romans.
Oh yeah. That's cool. It's interesting how its construction is so intentional.
Dover Castle overlooks the Strait of Dover, which is the narrowest part of the English Channel, at a distance of approximately 20 miles from the French coast. On the way back from Dover Castle, we stopped at the Battle of Britain Memorial. When we got back to the Airbnb, we did a little maintenance on our Jeeps. On day 10, we took the Tenterden steam train, which runs on the Kent and East Sussex Railroad, to Bodiam Castle.
Sandwiches was across from the tea rooms. If you have any questions about the journey, which station's which, and what you can see from the train.
That's the best time to go to bed today. Is it hanging like Texas? Is it?
Yeah, because my other account is 14 and a half.
DJ will be my credit union's not
We're here at this crossing.
Switches could be electrical wire for switch.
I think those were deer.
No, they're mechanical.
Bodiam Castle was built in 1385 by a former knight of Edward IV to defend the area against French invasion during the 100 Years' War.
Out of the way? All right.
It's almost like a carp.
Oh, he thinks it was fun. Throw something in my mouth. That's the Asian part.
It was so picturesque at every angle you looked at it.
I've had about 6 birthdays over here in the last 10 years because I'm always here on June 8th.
I've had a few here.
There's the train. You can see the smoke from the steam train we took here.
By the start of the English Civil War in 1641, Bodiam Castle was sold and subsequently partially dismantled and left as a picturesque ruin. We ate lunch at the Bodiam Castle Inn before boarding the train for our ride back to Tenterden. Back at the train station, we aided a fellow motorist by jumping their car for them that had a dead battery. On day 11, EJ and I started our day off by doing a little exploring on the property we were staying at in the Jeeps.
Oh yeah, there's one there. Another one.
Scott decided to come out and join us. On this day, we were going to explore a couple of properties in the area that had significance during World War II. This property, a German fighter plane had crashed into the roof. This property used to be High Halden Airfield during World War II, and it was used by the United States Army Air Force for tactical air support.
This was an airfield during World War II. You can see where the windsock is.
This house acted as the airfield headquarters, and when we drove up in our Jeeps, the owner was kind enough to take us for a tour around the property.
The same airfield as. We were just over there. We just came around. Yeah, we just came around. We're on the other side.
How would not see the airfield? Oh, that would be the other.
The cross one.
Cross
yeah.
one, right. So we're seeing.
After visiting the High Halden airfield, we headed out to the coast and the town of WWII, which is known for its medieval architecture, cobblestone streets, and maritime history.
Okay. It looks lower. Oh, there's... Woo! It's raining.
Day 12 would be our last day in England, and we headed to the Lashenden Air Warfare Museum, which held remnants of downed aircraft in the Kent area during World War II. And it wouldn't quite be a Flat Fender Jeep trip without doing a few repairs in the parking lot of the museum. We still had quite a drive that day to get back to the Portsmouth docks to catch a ferry to Normandy, France for the 80th anniversary of D-Day.